Hello, fans, and welcome to another edition of Reflections. Oh, that's my on-camera voice.
Oh,
I'm here right now with one half of the legendary New Age Outlaws, one of the greatest tag teams in the history of wrestling, arguably.
I feel you have to say that because I'm sitting here.
Well, I mean,
Like, I feel when people say that, it's like not genuine. Like, they just say that because I'm sitting here. Like, I feel if anybody else, like, was in a tag, like, say, the Heavenly Bodies, you would go, here, one half of the Heavenly Bodies, one of the greatest tag. So it's one of those, I always just wanted to kind of say that.
before you got into the sport, when you would come across it in your everyday life, did you dismiss
I
it?
never came across it in my everyday life. I would watch it strictly because a buddy of mine that I grew up with, his dad was a huge fan of wrestling, and I would sit there when he had it on, and we would just be running through the house or something and watch it and literally roll my eyes. I was the guy that we hated, like that you look at, and I think a lot of times we dismiss it because I didn't really know what it was.
Right.
So it's easier when you don't know what something is to tear it down rather than to kind of look any deeper into it.
Right.
So you just go, look at the phony. Who wants to do that? Like,
Right.
who would ever want to do that? It's
like a
for
cartoon
living?
almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, that was my experience in it because I knew nothing about it.
Interesting. So coming from that kind of mindset, how do you transition towards the business?
You find yourself, I just came across it by complete accident. I mean, it was not anything I was looking, it's not like I was sitting around one day looking at a magazine,
Right.
like Victoria's Secret and go, hey, I want to be a Victoria's Secret model.
Right.
Nor was I looking through a pro wrestling illustrated book going, gosh, I would love to do this, because I didn't know how athletic you had to be. I didn't know how athletic guys are. Probably the best athletes on planet Earth by far. And I'm not saying that because I do it. It's just when you get bouncing off a floor every day of your life for 20, 30, 45 minutes, yeah, your body just isn't supposed to do that.
Right.
Right? It takes a certain kind of person to do that. But once I found myself in it and realized, oh my gosh, this is awesome, then I just buried myself in it. I mean, just buried myself as much as I could.
So you go to the WWF for the first time. You're still very green to the business.
Oh, Vince asked us he was going to give us a contract, and I asked him if I could keep my regular job and do this on a weekend. That's how ignorant. Like, and
Wow.
He laughed, the old Vince. Me and Vince have
Did you think
this.
you were ribbing him?
No, like, I don't know, because I don't think anybody's ever said that to him. Like, hey, when we had our tryout and we did our thing, and he goes, yeah, we're going to hire you. We'll send you some contracts. You guys look it over. And I go, well, I have a regular job. Do we do this on the weekend? I don't know. When I say I don't know anything about the business, I don't know anything about the business. I don't know if I could stress that enough.
Right. That's pretty evident
but he
right there.
Yeah, but he laughed, and just his Vince laugh, and just went, no, I think you'll be okay. I don't know anything. He knows, he's seen it all. He knows it all.
Right.
I know nothing except and when they sent me the contract and I looked at it and I went, oh my God, they're going to pay me that to do this? And I would probably have done it for free.
Right.
But that's how it is. It's that ignorance.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
So are you presented right away with the smoking gun gimmick?
Because I think now I'm kind of finding a little bit of a groove and trying to find me a little bit. I haven't found me yet and realized what character I want to be.
Right.
They just went, hey, we're going to separate you guys to just see where we can go. And it's just, you do that. And I feel I'm thinking, okay, I understand what they could have talked me into anything anyways, but I understand where they were going. Hey, we've kind of run our course. There's really, how do you evolve being a cowboy? You really don't. You're either a cowboy or you're not a cowboy. Right. You're finding something or you're not something, right? So you go, okay, this will be cool. Yeah, I'm very comfortable in that setting. But now you go, oh, I see what singles does. Let me go try this. And so it was presented to me a lot different. Excuse me, a lot different than what it turned out to be. The good old Rockabilly character that we've all known and loved to grow, and there's so much.
I like the Rockabilly character.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
All right, hold on.
Stop it!
Hold on.
You're completely saying that because I'm sitting here and know how I despise that.
Okay.
So don't even remotely say that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll get to that in a minute. Is there animosity, but any animosity ever bruised between you and Bart over
Never.
like who's going to be face, who's going to be heel, like
Never.
nothing?
So it was just a debacle. You know, it was just the whole thing. Because one, I wasn't into it because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where this is supposed to go or any direction really.
Okay.
And then when you just go that day at TV and realize, oh, that's right, we told you we were going to do something with you. Yeah, we are. Somebody's going to run and get a black Levi jean jacket, and they're going to hit a bedazzler kit and just put stuff all over it and let me wear it out. That's my outfit.
I mean, that's kind of setting you up to fail.
It is. And it's okay because I didn't.
Right.
Like I tried to let it because I was so, like I was disappointed because I thought like when you tell me we're gonna do big things, that ain't it. You could feel it. I could feel it. It was a feeling that I had that
This
was
is the
not
first
it.
time you're ever feeling this.
Yes.
And this is your first negative experience.
Pretty much so, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, that you kind of go, well, you told me one thing. Now this is it. And it was like if there would have been like more thought process, like if there would have been just a little bit more into it, I would have been, okay, I'll try to make this work because that's what I have to do. That's my job. If I put a dress on you and say, hey, go act like a chick, that's what you do because that's your job. But when they do that and there's no, like, at least explain it to me. Explain the dress. Explain
no long-term goals or no long-term plans or anything.
No.
It's just, we're going to put you with Honky Tonk Man. Here's a bedazzled jacket. Go and do it.
Yes. So you get it. You just tried not to ruffle feathers because you know as soon as you do, you're gone. There's just no, especially someone in my position that was not there. So I don't want to do...
That's a tough working environment.
Yeah, I don't want to lose my job over something stupid like that.
Right. And they knew they had that kind of clout, right?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, yeah, they knew they helped, like they were all the guys that were on top and running the company.
But what about Bret Hart? Where was he? Where was he during all this? Because he was on his own island.
Yeah, he was. Brett's always on his own island.
Yeah.
Right. But Bret had clout in himself, because he was like, those guys had to have, there has to be an anti-click.
Right.
And he all by himself was anti-click.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That must have been a very volatile locker room, or at least a strange one.
It's what it was.
Yeah.
You just deal with it. You can't get all butt hurt because it's not going to do anybody any good.
Did a lot of people get butt hurt?
I'm sure a lot of people were butt hurt because they weren't they weren't a part of it because they were running the show.
Did you ever notice anybody trying to kiss up to the clique?
Everybody did.
Interesting.
Yeah, like not everybody. I don't mean everybody, but if you want, it doesn't do you no good.
Right.
Because they get it.
Right.
It's not like they didn't know that they held all the power and.
Right. So are there only two people at this time that the clique can't touch, Taker and Hart?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Right.
But when you put us together, the dynamic together just worked.
Yeah.
It just worked. I don't know why. It just worked.
His strengths circumvented your weaknesses and vice versa.
Yes, it was all the thing.
Now.
And then we start just getting hotter, and we just are really turned loose.
So now that you're catching fire, what is the reaction to people in the locker room, in the office, who pretty much wrote you guys off?
They think it's hilarious. Because if you don't think it's kind of cool, then you're just being, and I'm sure there was some people that go, okay, you're not that cool.
Right.
You're a liar.
Right.
You're just a liar. You're just lying to yourself because you don't know how to find. And it was never, we weren't doing it to shove it up anybody's ass. Never. If anybody, it was really to shove it up each other's asses.
Right.
It was that kind of,
right.
Because that's all we did. And it just caught everybody. They want us to be heels, and we were kind of trying to go in that direction. But how do you hate some two guys that are that cool. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, when you watch this stuff, I go back, and I'm not one to watch our stuff, but I literally go back to watch really the fans of wrestling back then, because they're in just totally bonkers.
That was different.
It is. People don't get it. I just was tweeting about this the other day. This kid, Jeff Farmer, said they were at the Coma Dome when we were there, when it was us and the Austin and Rock, and how insanely, and I mean this in the kind of stupid the people were. Every single person in the audience had a sign. Every one of them lost their minds. Every one of them were on their feet. It wasn't, oh, this is what we're supposed to do right now for this person. It was totally emotional. Everything back then, I tell people this all the time when I do seminars and stuff, the difference between today's crowds and back then crowds, everything for us was emotional. Everything was emotion. Everything was just down hard gut. Like, if you don't believe me, go back and watch the building when 20,000 people are in it, not say a word, and listen to that glass break of Austin's and watch what happens to the people. But as soon as they saw, I don't know what it was, they saw the chemistry or whatever, they just went, that's good, but this is better. And the minute, and I mean the minute, that Chuck, we did the thing, me and Rey Mysterio had a match, he beats me or whatever, Chuck comes and consults me and goes, here, I want you to be. But we hook, line, and sinker. I had to wear a wedding ring that Chuck gave me on TV. I had to wear it at all times.
Right.
Vince made me wear it. But the minute we did that, everybody went, God dang it, I knew you were gay. Son of a bitch. You got us. I knew you were. But it wasn't that. It was just, we were in. Like, me and Chuck had, like, it was. That's how come it kind of, at the time, got the publicity that it did. It was on everything.
Right,
we were in Time magazine, for God's sakes.
Weren't there people protesting outside the shows, like the LGBT community?
They were doing that, and they sent us stuff all the time. They were saying how happy they are that we finally came out, and I'm going, what is going on here?
But isn't that what you want as a performer?
It is what you want, and you go, you do, when you're presented this kind of character stuff and where it goes, me and Chuck had to have the talk, because I can't do it by myself. I need him to do this with me, and we both have to be on the same page.
Was he comfortable as you were?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because he was younger and more.
He was fine. Like, we had like serious talk. Like, it was, hey, you have to be in on this, because if we don't, then they're going to see through it. It just can't be one of us. We both. And he was completely on board with everything, because we're at that point in our careers, and I'm not saying that we didn't want to be challenged, but I want to be challenged a little bit. And trying to do that, that's kind of the ultimate, like, guy thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Is if I can make you believe that I'm that, buddy, there ain't nothing. I can sell you ice in Eskimo in Alaska.
Absolutely.
Right? So as soon as that happens and all this stuff happens, it was just fun. It was just so good. And it would have never happened if I hadn't had all that to that. It was just time to try to, can you make people believe this? Yes, I can.